I want to give a quick little disclaimer before we get into this video. This started out as more like a structured video like I normally kind of do my videos, but the more I was editing, the more I felt I really needed to give my opinion on some things going around in this community and do my part. It'll get a bit ranty here and there, but I truly believe that that's for the better. My content won't solely look like this, so don't expect it for every video. I'm trying to enjoy myself and not focus on the drama all the time, but I do feel like I need to let out some steam. Also, thank you, No Name Here. This video has given me some inspiration to make this video. You had the balls to come out with this video, so I'd like to do my part. Strap in, guys. This is going to be a long one.
Okay, let's recap a bit, shall we? This was meant to be a new start, really. A perfect world. Free from all the evil that had corrupted each and every corner of the known and unknown universe. It was going to be a place of safety for the kids, the little yous. You little... Well, so far, so good. But things started to go wrong soon after you arrived.
Being in the Call of Duty Zombies community is nothing short of an absolute roller coaster of emotions when looking at different opinions of the game and its iterations, especially if you're seeing yourself interact with it more as a newer player, starting from, I would say, anywhere from BO4 and now. Being around this community, it feels like you really can't escape what almost seems like such a circle jerk about Black Ops 3. And why is Black Ops 3 so good? Why there will never be a game like Black Ops 3? Oh, I'm not playing modern Call of Duty, I'm sticking with Black Ops 3. Now, stop right there. Hear my whole opinion before you leave that comment. I see you holding that finger right there. When I sit here and tell you that I would be one of the first people in line on a Black Ops 3 suck off, just straight going to town on the Black Ops 3, all right? Like, let me tell you, I love Black Ops 3 with all my heart, but being around this community as a newer player, it's probably just really fucking annoying sometimes when you hear that the game you started on absolutely sucks compared to Black Ops 3. Like, it's almost like crack how much people talk about this game. Look, I'm a classic Zombies player, okay? Y'all want some credentials? I'm from Black Ops 1, all right? I'm from Kino and 5. Guys, when I sit here and tell you that I endured so much fucking cringe scrolling through my old Facebook page just to find this very specific post to prove to you guys that I am in fact from Black Ops 1. I'm sitting here and talk about Tobuscus, guys, come on. So don't get me fucked up and twist my opinion when I talk about this game, because I was there during this whole saga. You may have seen this video right here, and while I don't necessarily agree with some of the sentiments I proposed in that video about newer zombies anymore, because I've had the time to play BO6 and see the community's reception of it as well as Cold War, I still would say it represents well how I feel about the older zombies pretty well, and still represents how I feel about the community and how we should treat them with open arms. And just like a ton of you on here watching this video right now, at the end of Black Ops 3's life cycle, I stopped for a while. After Zombies Chronicles, I found myself playing other games, not interacting with Call of Duty for a while, and I'm talking a while. I played Overwatch, Apex, and other games until Vanguard came out, and that game made me want to go back and try Cold War, and I enjoyed it to a degree. I'm enjoying Black Ops 6 a whole lot more, but back to the topic at hand, Black Ops 3. On top of other games being the reason why I didn't keep up with zombies for a bit, why was Black Ops 3 the end all be all for COD Zombies for me for a while, and for a lot of you guys as well? Why do I think, in all honesty, Black Ops 3 was way too good? And I'm talking like suspiciously good, especially when talking about the modern landscape of Call of Duty and Activision business practices. And why I think that this game had some serious consequences and has done some serious irreparable damage to this community in the modern zombies setting. This your boy Clam Rally, and welcome to the freaking channel.
So, I'm going to be absolutely truthful with you. Things have got way too far out of control. This isn't any vague woo evil.
If you are a newer player to the zombies community, watching this video right now, first off, I want to say I am so sorry. I genuinely am sorry that you're here in a community of people who seem like boomers who just love to talk about the good old days all of the time. I genuinely hope you get a game to feel that strongly about in zombies. And I honestly think that Black Ops 6 is a great contender for that, but we'll have to see. In the history of this community, you tend to hear Bo3 being held as the greatest zombies experience we could ever have. And in my personal opinion, like a lot of people, I tend to agree with that statement mostly. However, sometimes I tend to forget, and I think a lot of people tend to forget, that people don't go back to play Black Ops 3. Some of you probably did, but with Call of Duty being the way that it is on a yearly basis, you're always being fed new content every year, so it makes sense that not a lot of you went back to play those older games. So I feel there really is a need in this community to bridge that gap. And that's what I really want to bring to the table for this community. And I'm going to start with answering this question, but very briefly. You hardly need me to answer this question because there are a million other videos talking about why this game is so good. But to put it plainly and as an abridged version, the answer to the question, why is Black Ops 3 so good, is because they innovated, they got creative, they told us an interesting and easy to understand story. On the surface, they mainly kept old systems from World at War and innovated on them into this game, and there seemed to have been a ton of community engagement around that time, especially for Black Ops 3 Zombies. We really were engaged with the characters that were given to us, that were kind of revamped characters that we saw as younger kids playing BO1 and World at War, of course. It was really truly a time to be alive, I'll say. And they were able to innovate on a lot of what happened in World at War and Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. But the thing is, you can only go but so far with the game and its mechanics on an old engine that at some point you really just need to reset and start something new. And after Black Ops 4, the Dark Ether Saga was that thing to reset it. Granted, I think the Cold War zombie storyline is a bit of a snooze fest and doesn't hold a candle to what the old Ether storyline had to offer, at least not yet for me personally. But I can almost guarantee you that if we went back to a game like Black Ops 3 in the modern era, it just would not work. And I would point directly, and I'm talking straight, at Black Ops 4. I mean, just look at how long they tried to drag out Black Ops 4, and a lot of people just hated that. They tried to tell two different stories, and it really was unfortunate what happened with it because they couldn't focus on finishing the Ether story. They had to start this Chaos story. So at some point they needed to just tie everything up, and that's what Black Ops 4 did. Now, don't get me wrong. Looking back on Black Ops 4's ending, because I didn't play it when it originally came out, I do understand why people like this ending. But me personally, I'm very torn on it, but I don't want to get into that right now. That's for another video. But trust me, we'll get to these leaks later on. But something I will give Black Ops 4 compared to Black Ops 3 is that, yes, it was a sequel, but the game felt different. If we now went back to that old system, people would be shouting and crying that the game feels the same and there's no innovation. And look no further than the literal game series that this game mode resides in to prove that. Infinity Ward tried keeping the same formula back in the day between Modern Warfare 2 through COD Ghosts, and look what that did. People hated it because it didn't change enough. Why the hell do you think we have the jetpack era of Call of Duty anyways? It's because they weren't innovating as much. The games arguably looked the same. But if you look at zombies, each game is distinguishable from one another for the most part. And even of the jetpack Call of Duty eras, people still fucking hated it because it changed what they asked them to change. But look which one people accepted the most. Black Ops 3. What makes that the one people turn to? Well, I honestly think it's because of everything put together. and it kind of being the culmination of everything that happened prior to it. It was such a huge climax with these characters that we've loved because we knew them when we were kids and we wanted to see what happened to them because we feel connected with them, and we were so nostalgically charged mixed with some non-nostalgic good gameplay that they just delivered on. They simply delivered on that. Now let's get back to Black Ops 4. People didn't like that whole game for a multitude of reasons. It seemed like their focus wasn't on one thing, it was on too many things, and then they tried to wrap up the big story, but it seemed like it was a little bit too rushed, at least in my opinion. Which is why I believe Black Ops 3 is that line that people draw. That's where people draw that line, because after Black Ops 3, it almost seems like the story shit the bed, at least for a lot of people. So when they kind of dropped the ball a bit with Black Ops 4, and Vanguard, people lost hope. Black Ops Cold War seemed to kind of siphon some of that player base, but the damage was already done. Black Ops 3 was the peak of what made zombies good. But I'm missing out on one tiny little thing. Something called, oh yeah, Zombies Chronicles. The final thing to bring Black Ops 3 from an A tier to an absolute God tier experience. And then there's Custom Zombies 2, but that is a separate video because that is how good Custom Zombies is. But I'm not going to talk about it much in this video. Just know it's really good. And yet another reason as to why people like Black Ops 3. But anyways, but what if I told you that Zombies Chronicles had nothing more than a small chance that just happened to work? Let me break it down for you real quick, because this part's very important. If Call of Duty 2016 Infinite Warfare didn't flop so bad, there would not be Zombies Chronicles today. I firmly believe that. Let me be clear. This is my own speculation, by the way, but it seems to add up so well in my head. This isn't based off of anything, you know? What I really think happened is that, and look, if this is obvious and you're just like, oh, this is so obvious, Cam, shut up. Just whatever. I just kind of put this together in my head. What I think happened is that Bo3 was seeing massive success with its zombies, and that instance, mixed with the reception of COD 2016 being bad, opened up this metaphorical room with nothing in it. You know what would have been there had Infinite Warfare been successful? A boatload of cash. I believe that Activision really needed something to fill that room with, and what better way to do that than to speak to our nostalgia? Zombies Chronicles. And it shows how much Activision knows what nostalgia can do for us and for them. It really was the perfect business decision, because they aren't just some corporation making decisions off of nothing, right? They do their research. They probably watched all the videos, all the community videos back in the day and right now to get an idea of the average age the player is in the community, to then make decisions based off of that. They probably saw that most of us who started on World at War through BO1 were probably in our mid-teens to early 20s, so they knew we would be nostalgic for these characters and these maps. People often tend to look back at the older games and say, oh, back when they cared, or back when they were passionate about the series. No, it was about the money. I truly believe that Zombies Chronicles wouldn't have happened if COD 2016 didn't give them the incentive to make this DLC. And I am utterly shocked that the people who are saying COD sucks now, Zombies lost its way, you'd think they'd be the first ones to say what I'm saying right now. To be this skeptical about Black Ops 3, you know? We got lucky. It's not about the passion they had back in the day versus now. They never had the passion, or rather, they always had the passion. They never lost it. But Activision truly knows that nostalgia gets to your wallet, which is exactly where we need to fast forward to right now.
I'm not going to sugarcoat things. It's a fucking shit show.
Treyarch has some serious balls to change up the game as much as they have, because a lot of their player base, this community, just looks for nostalgia without even realizing it. Let me repeat that. I am not talking about the people who give constructive feedback on these newer games. I'm talking about the people who comment shit like this. Do you not see that some of y'all are just getting played? Not just by Activision, but these fucking grifters who just keep playing this game, but they keep telling you that they hate it. But they keep playing the game. That's the thing. Don't you really think if these people seriously hated the game like this, they would not be constantly posting about this game? What both of these parties are after is your nostalgia, and they're both winning. These grifters are getting your attention, and Activision is getting your money. Which is exactly why I think these premise returning leaks are true, because they are literally walking dollar signs for this. You know, every old Zombies player are gonna perk their ears up and be like, oh, wait a minute, premise, I know them. Oh, let me play. You know that. Like, yeah, our lives suck now. We're adults. But don't you think that we should be wanting newer things to pique our interest instead of wanting to just default back to who we were when we were kids? Like, don't you realize that if this leak of the crew coming back is true, then that's exactly why they would be bringing them back? Nostalgia. It's because people don't seem to want to stop shitting on modern zombies and compare it directly to Black Ops 3. And I find it really ironic that I would say mostly everybody doesn't want this, or is at least very skeptical about it, because you'd think the original crew is the #1 thing that people would want back to make zombies feel like old zombies again. I have my own very mixed thoughts about this topic that I was going to include in this video, but I found myself becoming even more torn, so I decided to put it in another upcoming video. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rant, but we should want this game to change. It's wonderful that this little mode that almost didn't exist is here now, alive and well, mind you. Now let me be 100% clear when I say this, like 1,000,000,000% clear when I say this. If you genuinely don't like the changes that are in this game or modern zombies, then for fucking real, more power to you. You are totally valid in that. Just as much as I give my thoughts on why I enjoy it, you're just as valid as talking about why you dislike it. I'm very sorry you don't like this game and the way it's changed, but you are not the one I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to the people who base their thoughts on this game and attack other people for liking modern zombies solely because it's not Black Ops 3. Titling your video, Black Ops 6 Zombie Sucks, the good reviews are from sponsored shills, is a fucking asshole move. This video fucking sucks, by the way. Just like the comment section right under it. Like, at this point, you can't even be mad at the people making the comments. You just gotta be mad at the creators who are fostering this kind of behavior. And we'll get to him soon, because I got some shit to say.
I know I'm old as fuck and all this shit, you know, and all these youngsters are gonna come in going, oh, you're just a hater, you're just a hater, just play a different game, you're just a hater, play a different game, stop making these videos complaining all the time.
Yeah, the video doesn't really get much better than that. Like, good fucking lord. I am almost certain that nobody knows what the word objective means. So of course I see him slinging that word around. Saying the new zombies is objectively bad is factually wrong. God, I hear that word thrown around so much to try to legitimize arguments, but then give no reason as to why it's quote unquote objective. If you don't know what it means, stop using that fucking word. I seriously blame all the OG Zombies YouTubers for using these words like objective to really just kind of solidify this culture of liking one thing versus another thing, and really making it seem like liking the minority liked thing is the wrong, objectively wrong thing, and it really fucking sucks because of it. Have some respect for yourself and don't engage with slop that does nothing but to serve people a hot dish of confirmation bias, the biggest cardinal sin in this community. And channels like this are an S tier example of that. And yeah, I know that me reacting to this is exactly what he probably wants me to do, because that's what these grifters do, but I don't give a fuck. This shit pissed me off. This serves as my perfect example of what is wrong with this community. Like, for the love of God. Like, in this comment section, I found the Lucario project. He actually commented something decent. He doesn't like the newer games, and that's fine. But for Christ's sake, you got someone commenting saying, I stopped reading at Transit Enjoyer. Like, how up our own ass do we have to be here, guys? What's going on? And one more thing about the Lucario project. He likes Transit. So fucking what? I can only imagine the amount of hate he got from Lex's fucking video, reacting to his video, deconstructing the Smith Plays video. I know that sounds a little crazy, right? Mind you, this is like a few, like years old news at this point, but I just don't remember anybody like speaking out about it. Granted, I don't know the guy, but what I do know is that he shouldn't have gotten all this hate from fucking Lex's reaction to this video. He even had to like make a post on his own YouTube comment section to like acknowledge that. His video was supposed to be a parody of the Johnny J video that is now deleted. So maybe it didn't come off as a parody like that, but just still, he should not have gotten as much hate as he got. A huge problem in this community is that we don't ever encourage people to like something unless it aligns with what you like. And it's on the creators to foster that sort of environment. But when people like Lex don't fucking foster that environment and just keep pushing this narrative of transit equals bad, therefore he is bad, it's just toxic. Like, you seriously got to realize the responsibility that you have. You have to think. You've been on this platform for so long, so you know how shit works around here. People are gonna flock to your opinion no matter what. So it's insanely important to always remind people that it's okay to have a preference that's not the popular preference. And that is precisely what pissed me off about Lex's coverage on Black Ops 6 before the game came out. He was saying that the game looked awful just to then flip the script, and now he's on the fucking game posting like he didn't talk about this shit at all. You know what that did? That created a culture for this community so that people rally behind you because you have such a huge following, and then they just take your opinion as fact. Yet again, making the newer players hate Black Ops 3 because no one can ever seem to shut up about it. So thanks Lex for the views on this video, but I don't fucking need him anymore. And also, go give the Lucario project a visit. He's been doing his weekly dose of zombie series for the past over 2 years, so he's got some consistency. Like, man, all I ask is for you to open up your eyes a little bit. There was one comment that was left on one of my most recent videos that I think seriously encapsulates the problem that's going on in the community. And while I don't disagree with his whole comment, there are lots of things in the comment that just don't seem to add up to me. Again, I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to leave this comment. Constructive feedback, whether positive or negative, is welcome around here. So I don't want to hear any of you guys saying this is just an echo chamber. I honestly feel that Zombie Slayer gave me a genuine question, so I'm going to give you a genuine answer. Why is it when old school zombie fans voice critic, they are shut down, but when modern zombies fans do it, they get nothing but positive feedback? Old school zombies fans ask for better atmosphere in Liberty Falls, named examples to fully describe what they mean. Go play old games. Like what? Okay, so this is a big one. And while I don't think everyone kind of thinks this way, I do think it is a big portion of what people think, because clearly he commented it and it seemed like a genuine question. And I think it has to do with this as well. When these newer players say, go play the old games to the older players, it's because the older players are the ones that are complaining. Just look at the fucking Liberty Balls situation. Everyone was complaining that it didn't look like older zombies. But then all of the newer fans were like, oh, let's give it a chance because the game is not out yet. And then the older fans called them fucking stupid. And it's not like Black Ops 3. So of course the newer fans are going to say, go and play the old games. Like, it's not the other way around. That is exactly why. If y'all want a better game, every opinion is important. If Treyarch thinks it doesn't align with their vision, they can scrap it. I fully agree with that. And it's not like the bad old school zombies fans' feedback was ignored. We complained about the HUD, they instant replied with customization. We complained about the soulless look in Liberty Falls and the difficulty, Treyarch gave it a few tweaks. We complained about the damage, Treyarch fixed it. Terminus is a direct answer to the complaints about the map design, We even got a main cast back. We wanted things like Mustang and Sally back, they went and fixed it. Yep, perfectly agree with that one. Liberty Balls wasn't advertised correct. It was advertised as an equal map to Terminus. One look at the Terminus Easter egg proves that it's not. They even agreed that Liberty Balls looked bad because they went back and fixed it. Okay, so this part I don't entirely agree with. I believe Liberty Falls was advertised perfectly. They were fully transparent, talking about how it was going to be a more casual experience. And you got to think, right? If you look at Terminus, do you see how Terminus looks way more dramatic in terms of its lighting and atmosphere? That's going to scare new players away. So I don't doubt for a second that Liberty Falls was made brighter and easier to look at on purpose. I think it was done intentionally so that newer players can feel comfortable in the map and they're not feeling like they're getting jumped and they feel like they can see everything. You feel me? So I disagree with that because I think that's what they had in mind the whole time. I also don't see the difference between this game and Bo3's gum earning system that everyone seems to be praising. I get random gums in Bo6 while I got currency in Bo3 that I could use to get random gums. Sure, Divinium was annoying to farm, but the basis of the system stays the same. In Bo3, I had free gums that made up for that fact. Okay, this is another big question, and I can actually talk about two things, but I'm not going to talk about the Gobblegums first. I'm going to talk about this first, but I'll get back to Gobblegums. Did we all just collectively, nostalgically forget that we had to pay for the DLCs in Black Ops 3? Did we all just forget that? The people that are complaining that Black Ops 6 isn't worth it are the same exact people that spent at least, and I'm talking at least, 110 bones on Black Ops 3. Now that doesn't seem nostalgic, now does it? Which is why I really think this is nostalgia that's baiting these people to say this. Because there's no way you can look at that system and say that it's better in terms of cost for the newer games. There's just no way. On this game, you only have to spend the initial game cost if you choose to go that route instead of Game Pass. $70 and that's it. Every major DLC drop is free. Yeah, there's microtransactions, but you get the bulk of the content for free now afterwards. Y'all want to talk about worth? There's your worth right there. Which really goes back to the subject in one of my previous videos talking about objectivity versus subjectivity. If you don't like the type of game that this is, it's not going to be worth it to you. And that is totally fine. But don't sit there and say it's not objectively worth people's time when it's more content that you're getting for less. It's just not for you. And I do want to acknowledge that obviously zombies isn't the only thing in this game. Multiplayer and campaign are there obviously as well. But you know motherfuckers were buying just for zombies. Motherfuckers were spending $110 solely for zombies back in the day. So I think that's a great point for me to say. And if you want to sit back and compare it to back then prices, then it's $10 more instead of $50 more. The game, of course, was $60. And if you wanted to go in on the zombies maps, the season pass cost $50. Now there's a solid argument against the seasonal paid DLC right there. And the reason I bring this up before talking about the Gobblegums as an answer to your question is because they both have the same issue. The monetary system in Black Ops 3 was insanely predatory. Did we also forget how absolutely predatory these were? How insanely almost dangerously parasocial it was for content creators solely making content based on Gobblegum pack openings. The fucking ultimate spend money challenge, pretty much. Jesus Christ. Like, we had so much content in BO3, but motherfuckers were still grinding liquid divinium Gobblegum openings. Perkaholic behavior. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Am I right? The Gobblegum system we have now is damn near perfect. I hope they don't add pay to win Gobblegums. For the love of God, do not do that. That's the difference between BO3 and BO6. The final part of this comment says, to voice my own opinion, if Cold War was a 5, this game is a 6 or 7. They fixed a lot wrong with Cold War, 100%. And for example, the augments are really cool. However, the main cast doesn't feel interesting at all. The story so far feels just like Cold War. Terminus ending is giving it a bit more hope though. I still feel like the maps don't have that certain edge where I am like, oh wow, look where I am. But then again, it's a bit hard considering we went to the moon and blew up Earth. Wonder weapons don't really give that overpowered feeling anymore, which I also kind of don't like. Kill streaks take me out of the flow of the game, like I am in an apocalypse and whoop, out my tablet and drive a RCXD. The weapon tier system fixes a problem that never existed. Bulletproof armor plate does not work against fists. The BO4 point system also needs to go. Remember that the BO4 point system was put into place because a dev didn't want to buy a door in an online match and he got called for it in voice chat. It does not serve a fix to a real gameplay issue. Also remove COD HQ. Thanks. I mainly am fine like with this last part, I mean, that's more of a preference, and that again, preferences are perfectly fine. I disagree with a little bit. I love the point system in this game, but I mean, this is totally fine, this last part. Also, remove COD HQ. Yeah, get the fuck rid of COD HQ, but it ain't going nowhere, so let's be real here. Thank you for leaving this comment, and I hope that honestly, that genuinely gives you an answer. I don't want it to sound like I'm like dismissing you or anything, but I just genuinely am so passionate about those topics here. Thank you for leaving your comment. It is not comments like this that are making people crash out. It's because of comments like this that make the newer fans sick of the older fans' shit. Hold this L, buddy. Look, I love Black Ops 1 and 2 as much as the next guy. 2 holds my favorite map of all time, but it looks like Lil Bro got caught in the fucking ether rift and can't escape 2009 through 2012. Here, why don't you go ask Lex to play Black Ops 2 with you? Oh, wait, he's stuck playing Black Ops 6, a modern zombies game. Why don't you hold this L, buddy? L for Lex Lover. How about that? Do you see what I mean? It gets really annoying around here just voicing my opinion on the new game sometimes. So I can only imagine how it feels for you guys as well, the newer players. But I'm so grateful for all over 2,000 of you that have come here to enjoy my commentary and takes enough to want to stay. You guys are absolutely goated and can see that zombies can in fact be changed and it still be a good thing, whether you like the newer games or not. And let me just be, again, fully clear here. There are plenty of older players out there that are critical of the newer games that are totally fine. They're totally fine. They don't throw around drama. It's just I don't know what it is about people who are stuck with this nostalgia that just can't see change. There are plenty of older players who can see change and are totally fine and are welcome around here. Let's not get that fucked up. And to prove that, look no further than Exhibit A. Black Ops 3. That game changed and innovated so much, I would argue that's why people like the game so much. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why people are just throwing around this hate for no reason. Like, grow up. So just as much as I'm telling the older players to not be so reactive, I want to say the exact same thing to you newer players as well. And I'm not about to sit here and pretend like the opposite doesn't happen sometimes. I just think the vast majority is the other way around. And if I see newer creators posting cringe like that, better believe I'll call it out too. And I want to touch on the overall larger zombies creator community real quick. While I do think a lot of them really don't even realize what they do in terms of cultivating this bias towards certain likes and dislikes in this community, I really have to hand it to Milo as being, I would say, the best, largest creator around here. You can criticize him for his thumbnails, the way he handled this game pre-launch, and kind of the video spam lately, but what you have to realize at this point, that he's insanely dedicated to pumping out his guides for us to watch. I mean, hell, I'd be lying to myself if I didn't say that for every single Easter egg that I've done, practically, I've had, hi guys, playing to help me walk me through that. That is useful, timeless content. And we don't get a whole lot in this community that much. If you're a newer player wanting to try Origins for the first time and do the Easter egg, boom, Milo, right there. That is the audience that he has cultivated. And I think we are better because of that. So we should want more content like that around here. Just make sure the guides aren't rushed and they're accurate. But that's a whole topic for another video. I really don't like being so negative all of the time. It is incredibly tiring. Even making this video was very tiring. And like I said in this video, I don't want to make my content like that solely. Recently in my own personal life, I've had to deal with a lot of negativity on a constant basis. And while I do think focusing on only positive things makes people a little naive, focusing on the negativity only makes people just as naive. So when you see content like this promoting only negative views on Call of Duty, make sure you give the same skepticism to them as you give to Call of Duty. These guys may say, people like to say I'm only negative, but I do have positive things to say about the game. But just look at the negative slop they are posting. Dude, none of it's positive. Don't be fooled. Interacting with only that makes you equally as naive about things. They are one-sided creators ruining this community. And yeah, I know it's not zombies only, but it's Call of Duty, man. We are almost a decade after Black Ops 3's launch. And let me just speak to you like man to man real quick. If you're okay with liking something purely based on nostalgia, then that's valid too. But let me just give my opinion on that real quick. I'm insanely nostalgic too, but things are changing, man. And if you don't change, things will change without you. And we will continue to be marketed to by Activision purely based on nostalgia. If we don't seek change, good change, then things are gonna stay the same. I know that sounds a little harsh, but I genuinely am sorry for people that don't enjoy this game series in its modernity or can't enjoy this game because they're stuck in the past. I'm not telling people to shut up or to not give their own opinion on the game. If you don't like it, it is more than encouraged, especially around here, and we should give that opinion 100% because that is what dictates good change, not slop like this. Do better. I love hearing different perspectives about this series, but I definitely think it's time to welcome in the newer players because I think they need something to attach to and talk about without feeling afraid they're gonna get shit on and bullied. So we all can talk about what we love respectfully. Zombies. I love pretty much all of Zombies, so I'm lucky enough to have been able to see what makes this mode so special, even in this corporate hellscape of Activision. There's still a spark there, and I believe it's getting brighter and brighter, and I hope that you can see that sometime. Don't get stuck in the past. It's time to move on. And thank you for the continued support on this channel. I've been attached to this game series now for the majority of my life, and I refuse to not say something when I see people around here getting harassed because they like this new game. And yeah, you could argue that I'm blowing this a little bit out of proportion and it's not that bad, but I don't care. I'm a part of this community and I refuse to see it eat itself alive, especially when I'm seeing some traction with my channel. That's starting to mean I gotta like say something, you know? No Name here put it great when he said this community is cannibalistic. Go subscribe to his channel. He's doing great. Oh, and while you're at it, go subscribe to these guys too and check them out. Black Ops 3 was the absolute pinnacle of what Zombies is and could be. But that doesn't mean we can't have another one. I got some more content coming soon talking about your guys' opinion with the polls that I put up on my channel, so look forward to that. But I felt like I just had to talk about this first. Your boy Clambo is out of here. And thank you so much for your continued support on this channel. I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.